The kids are going back to school. A sigh of relief from parents right across the land. But what about study habits? It is so easy to fall into bad study habits, hard to form good ones. Well, if you want some help, you could do worse than go to the website benchprep.com. Ashish Ragnekar is CEO of BenchPrep. Joins me now from our Chicago bureau. Good to see you, Ashish.
Great to be here.
So it's every parent's nightmare trying to instill the best study habits, trying to avoid the bad ones. Let's get into it. So you've politely, very nicely drawn up some of them for us. The bad study habits first. Studying at home. I mean, sure, I don't quite understand that. I would have thought studying anywhere is a good thing.
See, so yes, but studying at home is a little too convenient and easy, and that kind of puts you in a zone where there are a lot of distractions around you. And the last thing that you want while you're studying is every 15 minutes you're distracted either by someone coming into your house or you being kind of wanting to check out the fridge and get something to eat or drink. So what we recommend, or what I recommend, is finding a place which is very quiet and it's actually more conducive to just learning. And the best example is library. Like, go to a library. Everything that anyone is doing around you is studying, and that kind of puts you in a zone which helps you stay there for a much longer period and concentrate better. So this is kind of the first thing that students should do. Interesting.
And then there's a couple of others on the list which seem, I guess, relatively obvious. Listening to music isn't going to help anybody because it's a distraction. Procrastinating, never a good idea on many things. Not making an outline. I guess that's all about preparation is what we're talking about there.
Yeah, it's all about organization. I mean, you need to know what you're getting into. And I think creating an outline on day one, or in fact for every study session, kind of helps you do that. A lot of students believe that the way to study is just open up the book and just get into it. That helps, but I think it will be way more efficient if every study session or every topic you actually create an outline. It also kind of helps you reinforce the concepts that you have studied and goes far.
And highlighting the textbook, what do you mean by that? That sounds like something that would be useful to do.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. I mean, everyone tells you to highlight. Right? Everyone tells you to read the book and then kind of take a neon highlighter and mark the concepts that you want to revisit. Revisiting the concept does not help you to learn the concept better. Not at all. Now, if you want to reinforce the concept, the best way to do it is to actually quiz yourself onto the concept. Right? So you read a concept and then you do a little quiz. Another way of reinforcing the concept is making notes. Right? So try to remember the concept and rewrite it in your own words. Really helpful. Just highlighting it helps you kind of find the sentence or the concept back in the book again, but does not help learning at all. In fact, this is of the 6 kind of bad learning habits, this is the one that is used the most and hurts the most as well.
Interesting. And the 6th one that we have up there, of course, is pulling all-nighters, which is never a good thing for anybody, really. Let's get to the best ways now to study. First of all, paying attention to study location goes to what we were just talking about, a library, perhaps not studying at home. Varying the study topics, is that just the sense that variety keeps you fresh?
So a couple of things. Variety keeps you fresh, and second is generally in kids these days, attention span is decreasing. Right? So everything that we do, all the way from playing games to watching TV, the amount of time that you can focus on kind of one topic or concept or even kind of any one thing is reducing dramatically. And we should adjust to that. As a student trying to study something, they should adjust to that. And I think it's best to have one study session focus on 3-4 different concepts. That keeps you fresh. That keeps the actual concept that you're trying to study for It'll give you just enough so that you can you remember that, and you can always come back and reinforce it. So, I would say, having about kind of 30 to 40 minutes every concept is a good benchmark.
All right. And then making information meaningful, which it's all about getting information, I guess, and you also talk about tapping online resources. Explain those two to us.
So regarding the making information meaningful, I'll quote Jonathan Foyer. He writes a lot about kind of how to build your short-term and long-term memory. And one of the things that he says is, if you can associate concepts or things that you want to learn with real things happening in your life, you'd be able to remember them better and for longer. Right? And that's where the making information meaningful comes in, where if you're trying to study something in algebra, try to associate it with something that you would do in your real life. I mean, small things like calculating discount if you were to buy a football jersey. Something like that would actually make it meaningful, and you'll be able to kind of retain it better. Now, when it comes to the online or more resources, typically what happens is, a student is studying and they are stuck. And traditionally, they would just wait until their next class so that they can actually go and talk to the professor or talk to TA. But that's not helpful at all. Right? The best kind of intervention happens when the student is studying, they're stuck, and if someone is able to solve the problem right then, that is really efficient. And luckily now there are enough technology resources that would allow you to do so. And I have like a couple of my favorites. I really like this service called Open Study. It's an online forum or a discussion board where thousands of students are talking about like hundreds of subjects. Right? So even at 11 p.m. at night, if you're stuck on a geometry problem, go up there, see someone can help you, find an answer, and move on.
Yeah.
Don't wait for the next morning.
Right. It's all great advice, and the number 6 on the best ways to study is, of course, have a great attitude. Hard to get anything more meaningful than that, and hard to pin down sometimes. But Ashish Ragnekar, I got to wrap it up there. Ashish, of course, the CEO of Bench Prep, and if you want more information, go check out the website. There it is on the screen, benchprep.com. Ashish, great to see you. Thank you for sharing all your thoughts with us.
Great to be here.